call. It's not in 30 minutes. So yeah,
Well,
leave it up to me. I usually make fun of people for getting the time zones wrong, and then I go and do it. So
I don't know how you keep up with it all.
football time zones help.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I sent messages out and I was like, we only have 30 minutes of its time. So you need to get on like exactly at 9 o'clock. And not really listen, so it's okay.
No worries. Well, cool thing is we can record it and everybody can get this. And so let me know when I'm good to just kind of, okay, cool.
Good.
So the main reason that I wanted to hop on a call, I wanted to do this with every team that I'm working with, just as a coach. And essentially the idea is I want to just kind of go over some of the changes that you saw launch at Super Saturday and the reasons behind them. And really the reason is because I really want everybody to adopt these, because I want you to know why these decisions were made and that they were made based on analytics and not based on just because we wanted to or because it sounded good or anything like that. So I'll just kind of rewind to about beginning of 2018. Obviously, the goal for the company has been to try to figure out, well, how do we grow, right? How do we make more money? How do we do things like that? And obviously, at the end of the day, if we want to grow, we have to put things in place to help every ambassador business grow. Because at the end of the day, all we are is a sum of all of your businesses. That's really all we are. So if we want to grow, we got to help you grow. So what we did is we brought in about, I don't remember if it was 3 or 4, but we brought in either 3 or 4 different third-party companies to basically run all of our analytics for us. Since we've been in business, right? Or since we started to launch supplements. First, like year or 2, we had the breast check kit, but hard to have great analytics on something that isn't reusable every month. So, or that you don't have to rebuy every month. So anyways, but the idea there is that we wanted to just basically try to figure out, map out people's journeys. What happens to them as they're joining and what keeps them, what gets them to work, and what happens. Try to make a story out of the numbers here. And we brought 3 or 4 different companies in just to make sure that there was, nothing that was just an outlier, to make sure that they were all fairly accurate. So, and they were all pretty much the same, give or take 1 or 2%. So, some of the findings that we found, and then I'll go over what it means basically, is that we have great 60-day retention as a company. I mean, we keep people for the first 60 days, and that makes sense when you look at the money back guarantee, but we keep people. In their 3rd, 4th, and 5th month after joining is when their average order size starts to dip a little bit. That's just kind of what had happened. Now, also in addition to that, and this was probably the most significant key finding, and what should excite everybody, is that if you joined and you ordered Triplex 6 months in a row in your first 6 months, so you didn't skip a month, you bought it every month, you ended up staying and you stayed for a very, 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 very long time. And you and to the point where like our analytics didn't even really predict it because we haven't been around long enough, but because they were staying for like 5.5 years, to be honest. Like that's the craziness there. But they also usually shared the products and built a business, right? So that was awesome. What we also looked at, though, was the number of people that do that. And it wasn't, I mean, obviously it was a good number because we've grown really fast and we've had a lot of success. Clearly we have great products, but it wasn't the number that we wanted it to be, right? I mean, obviously we're looking to have it be like, 9 out of 10 people or something like that. And it wasn't. I won't share those numbers, but it was. And I'm sure most of you could agree that, it's been hard to get people to just stay on Triplex for 6 months. And so the story behind what that told us was essentially that people love the way they feel after 6 months, after they correct their gut, after they start to get it healthier. They love the way they feel and they don't want to go back to feeling the way they did before. But what it also told us was that a lot of people aren't seeing results within their first 60 to 90 days, which is key in keeping you going, right? Because at a certain point, after that money back guarantee is up, you've got to justify the cost on the products every month, right? And to justify the $115, $120 that you're spending, if you haven't seen results, is difficult to do. So at that point, you either stop taking them, you knock a product out of your order, or you reduce the amount that you're taking, right? You start taking one probiotic. So now it takes longer to see results and things like that, but you're also not introducing new products to your regimen. It becomes tough on the sponsor because, again, we're all busy. And as much as we're here to help people, we also we got families, we got jobs, things like that. And we got to be able to justify doing things like following up with people, helping them get started on products, and troubleshooting when things are going poorly or if they're having die-off symptoms. In order to do that, there has to be some type of return on that investment. And that investment is your time and your energy and your effort too, right? And so that becomes difficult over time if there's just a lot of people that happens to. So it can also cause you to burn out too as a business builder. So these were all just significant key findings that we found. And so the idea was, okay, well, how do we fix all these things? Like, how do we make these things more efficient? And at the end of the day, there were three things that correlated with becoming a business builder and having great retention on the individual. And that was especially contributing to building the business. Number one was the length of time you're with Plexus, right? The longer you're here, the more likely you are to build and share. Number two is your average order size. The higher your average order size was, the more likely you were to build the business. And on average, the longer you stayed, by quite a bit too. And then number three was, had you ever earned a check? And that obviously doesn't have to be a check from a customer or an ambassador enrollment. It can just be money back on your PV or something like that. The larger the check, the more likely you were to stay, and it compounded over time exponentially, which was another key finding. So the reason all this is important is because this was all these were used to design this new system in place to help everybody grow. And so the reason behind it is gut health is still our niche. That's what we have that our competitors don't. And that's, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do and what will keep people on these products and get them shouting it from the rooftop. And it begins educating people, good things like that. But we also recognize gut health isn't super exciting for people that don't know about gut health. And most people don't care to know about it until they're given a reason to go looking, and so it's hard to hook people. So we want weight loss, skincare to kind of be the energy, mood to kind of be those hooks. And obviously health and nutrition is another key one, but a lot of times those folks are a little bit crunchier. They've done more research. They know a lot more of what they're looking for. And so it's a little bit easier decision a lot of times for them. But for those folks that don't care as much about all those things, but are still trying to figure out why they aren't losing weight and things like that, we want to be able to hook them in with some of these products. So the idea is that, again, Triplex is what we have that our competitors don't. But from like a corporate perspective, this is kind of how we would want it positioned. So I'll just kind of use you as an example, Amber. So like if Amber was looking to sign up and she expressed interest in losing weight, the way that I would position this is I would really want to tell her that there are some products here that are going to help her lose weight, and then there are going to be other products that help keep that weight off. And that's going to happen through, really correcting the way that she's craving food and her food habits and things like that. So just a quick, this is by no means like a perfect way to present it. This is just like a blueprint that I've used and stolen from people. But so if I was going to sign Amber up, I would say something along the lines of, hey, Amber, I'm super excited that you're looking to join Plexus. You expressed earlier that you were interested in losing some weight. So I really first want to direct you here to our Weight Loss Essentials Welcome Pack. And I think that this is going to be the best welcome pack to get you started with today for a couple reasons. The first reason is because of the value. And you're getting around $350 worth of products here for about $200. So it's the best value you're ever going to get because you only get a welcome pack once. So that's one reason why I've want to introduce you to this. But the main reason is actually because I think that these are the best set of products to get you started on to help you see the goals or meet the goals that you're looking to meet. And this will help you lose the weight that you're looking to lose, but also keep it off in the long run. So let me just kind of tell you why. So first, we've got this brand new product called MetaBurn. And this is our new fat burner. And essentially all this product is it helps boost your metabolic rate. So you're going to burn calories at a higher rate. So if normally while I'm sitting here talking to people on Zoom, if I'm burning 50 calories, I might burn 70 or 75 calories doing the same activity because I've increased my metabolic rate, right? So it's more calories out. And the idea with weight loss obviously is calories out versus calories in. So that's our great fat burner. In addition to that, we've also got this amazing meal replacement here called Lean. It tastes amazing, but the way that this works really is it's very simple. The idea is to just replace one of your current meals with this, either breakfast or lunch, ideally. And it's around 200 calories if you mix it with milk, something else like that. But the idea is it should be significantly less calories than what you're currently eating. But in addition to that, we're also get you great nutrients because when it comes to losing weight, you don't want to starve yourself. We want to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients in your body because if you're not, obviously your body can trick yourself sometimes into thinking that you're hungry when really it's just looking for nourishment. So this product is packed with great protein, some great healthy fats, some good carbohydrates, some good fibers. There's also a prebiotic fiber in there. There's some good aminos, and it's got a nice spectrum of vitamins and minerals. So your body's gonna be nice and nourished, and you're not just gonna be getting empty calories like you would from eating like a Cheez-It or something like that. So it's a great replacement. Now, in addition to this, we've got this amazing product called Block. And Amber, all this really does is it helps block the absorption of up to 48% of starches and sugars. And so, when you're having a high carb meal like bread or pasta, I'd encourage you to take Block with it. This product might last you, 2 months or so, just depending on how often you're using it. I mean, honestly, truthfully, I hope it does last you 2 months because you express interest in losing weight. So probably not ideal to have a high carb meal every single day, but when you are having one, I would use this product, or take this product with your meal. So those are going to be 3 of the products that help you lose the weight, Amber. But I also want to make sure that I let you know about these other 3 products here, Slim, ProBio 5, and BioCleanse. And this makes up our Triplex combo, which is our best-selling combination of products in Plexus. And this is what you won't find anywhere else. And this is also what you're going to take to help keep the weight off. So let me just explain real quick. So first we got Slim here. This is our flagship product. But the idea here is that there's a fiber in there. Slim Hunger Control, I should say. But there's a fiber in there that expands in your stomach, and it helps make you feel full. So that helps suppress your appetite a little bit. But the real way that this works is it helps balance your blood sugar, which I'll get back to in just a second. Now, in addition to that, I think, again, we have to talk just a little bit about keeping the weight off. And at the end of the day, we know, again, it's calories in versus calories out. So the key is going to not only be, increasing the amount of calories that we're expending, but controlling the amount coming in. And that's going to happen when we start to control some of the foods that we're eating and our cravings for them. And so, I think we can all agree that when it comes to losing weight and not eating bad foods, and especially sugary foods, that it's easier said than done. And, I don't think that willpower is the answer to it, right? Because we know scientifically, through scientific studies, lots of them, that sugar is more addicting on the body than cocaine is, right? Now, you wouldn't go up to somebody in rehab and just tell them to use willpower over cocaine, right? It's just insensitive, it's ignorant. It's a lot of things. And so, but we can't apply that same type of thinking when it comes to just saying no to sugary foods, because it's a highly addictive substance. And especially when you have factors in your body that are causing you to crave it even more than you normally would. And that is essentially, most people are not familiar with this, but you've got this bad bacteria, this yeast or fungus growing in your gut. I won't say the name of it for compliance purposes, but we all know what it is, right? But essentially what happens is when you eat sugar or carbohydrates, it feeds that yeast or fungus. And so what happens is then it wants even more of it. And so it sends signals to your brain saying, feed me more sugar. So it causes your body to crave it more. And so what happens, you get in this vicious cycle where you feed it sugar and now you want more. And so you feed it sugar and you want more. So that causes you to crave sugar even more than you should. But in addition to that, when your blood sugar is too high, you also crave sugar more than you should. And eating sugar causes your blood sugar to go up as well. And so the challenge here is you've got 2 different factors working against you that just continuously feed each other. And you find yourself constantly craving sugar. Now that's what these products really address is we've got this specially formulated probiotic and digestive enzyme that's designed to fight off or kill this bad fungus or yeast, right? And then this Drink Here Slim that we just mentioned helps balance your blood sugar. So over time, as we start to kill off that bad yeast and balance your blood sugar, it becomes easier to say no to some of those sugary foods, and it gives you control back over what you're craving. And that's really what separates us from anything else. Is it's not a quick fix, it's not a fad, it's not a diet, it's really more of a lifestyle change, but it's about using the tools that give you control back over what you're craving. So and then obviously finally we've got this product here called BioCleanse. The idea here is it's able to cleanse you and get all this bad stuff out of you that this probiotic is killing off, because we want to get that stuff out. Okay, so the idea is over time we're going to use some of these products to help lose the weight up front, but we're also going to start to introduce some of these other products to correct things at the root cause. Now, I should also just be completely straightforward with you, Amber. When we start to correct your gut, there are also some symptoms that people experience that aren't always positive, right? A lot of times those toxins are dying off, they're leaving your body, and that can cause you to feel kind of sluggish or not feeling so great. And so because of that, I think it's really important that we start off nice and slow with ProBio 5 and BioCleanse here. I really just want you to take one of each a day. Now, if we start to find that you're not feeling too great, we might bump that down. And if we start to find that you're not feeling bad at all, we might increase it just a little bit. Eventually, we're going to work you up to taking more of this, but the idea is we want to start off nice and slow so that you don't have a bad detox experience. Because at the end of the day, if you're feeling sluggish and tired, I know that even if you're going to feel good on the other side of it, you can't spend 30 or 60 days feeling bad, because we got jobs, we got kids, and I wouldn't be able to do my job if I felt bad for a month. My performance would really suffer. And so, I want to make sure that we start off nice and slow here. So we're going to set your subscription order up today. We're going to get you started on, so these products will arrive this month. Your subscription will arrive next month. We're going to set your subscription here up for Slim Hunger Control, MetaBurn, and Lean, because those are going to be the products I want you to use up this month. And then again, we'll use Block as necessary, and we'll slowly introduce ProBio 5 and BioCleanse into your regimen. So yeah, that's kind of the idea here that we're trying to aim for, is to slowly introduce you to gut health products so that you are correcting your gut slowly, but not at a rate that causes you to have an awful detox experience. But we also want to make sure that we had some of the products in place too to help you, some initial results, whether it's skincare with Joyome, whether it's weight loss with MetaBurn and Lean. We wanted to give you that initial experience that was positive up front. Now, we've wanted to move to this for about 7 or 8 months, but we had to have the products in place first to be able to move towards the 199 packs, which is why we did it after we launched MetaBurn. Obviously, we had to also have Joyome and stuff in place. But the idea here was to expose you to more products up front so that you're more likely to have good experiences with them. You're more likely to continue to want to take more, even if you're not taking every single one every month, right? Again, I know some people that they don't take Block every day. They don't take Ease every single day. I do personally, because I love Ease, but I know everyone takes, different things as they need them. But we want to expose people to more products, right? So that was kind of the idea behind that, and why it should lead to more retention. But then a couple of other just key things that I think are just important that were minor reasons we did this. When it comes to sharing, when it comes to talking about Triplex, nobody here can show me a before and after photo, or a 90-day before and after photo at least, because there are some that are like 3 years and they are significant. But you can't show me a 90-day photo on Triplex. It's going to show me I'm going to feel better. I have to trust you. This is as simple as that. So because of that, A, I think the average person is going to be a little bit more skeptical, and B, the average person can be a little less likely to go put themselves out there for other people to see, especially when it comes to something scary like working a network marketing business, right? If you've got something that shows inches lost or pounds lost or a great Joyome testimony, I think it's easier to put it out there, because it's just like, hey, this is what happened. If you like it, let me know. You could have the same experience. And so I think it's a little bit easier for you to make that initial step. So that's another significant piece of this. In addition to that, yeah, you want to?
I have a question. So,
yeah.
Okay. So as you're working through that combo, what is the idea or the ideal timing? Like, are you having them suggesting that they work through the weight loss essential combo, those 3 at first, until they hit their target weight, and then just do gut health? Or what do you?
No, at that point, it just depends. Hopefully you're doing a good follow-up process with everybody. Hopefully by that point, and the idea too, which I'll just chat about in a minute, is to get them working the business too. And that way, again, they're able to afford more products, take more products, want to talk about more products, things like that. But no, the idea is we want to keep them on Slim for sure. I think Lean is one of those products that you can always justify spending, because it's cheaper than an average meal that you're going to go out and spend for breakfast or lunch. So supplementing that in with Triplex isn't too hard. And I think generally with MetaBurn, it just depends. Personally, I thought I was going to be done taking MetaBurn after I first trialed it. I got to trial it back towards the end of October. I'm personally trying to bulk up. It's just my personal goal right now in the gym. But I love the mood from it more than anything. So I'm still taking it. And I used to take Edge instead, but now I take MetaBurn just as my pre-workout. But I love the mood. So I think people will ultimately be able to justify it for themselves. But then eventually you can, once they've had a good experience, they should be open to trusting you a little bit more and learning more about gut health. And that's when we can talk to them about the Weed, Seed, Feed, Protect, and introduce them to Vital Biome or X Factor Plus, and just kind of all about overall health and general nutrition. But we want to get them to that point where they care about it. So one of the other reasons though is that the welcome packs count as points now as well. So you can go out and control your own push, which is significant, because before, if you were pushing for a rank, that kind of meant trying to incentivize your whole team during the same month, which isn't a necessarily good practice to begin with, to try to get them all in the same month, because it's going to be tough for everyone to come back and order this next month. You're almost guaranteed to go backwards, but especially when you took an entire month off of bringing new people in, because your focus was getting the current people to order, because the new people didn't count for points. So now when you're pushing, you can control your push by going and signing up a lot of people, right? That's the ideal push now, is a lot of enrollments with the 199 pack, but that also guarantees that you won't go backwards the second month, because you're recruiting a lot of people and you're not doing another bad practice, which was another key thing, because one of the other tough parts of this business is, like, sometimes you can't control it. And if you have a bunch of leaders decide that they're going to push for all at once, like if you have a bunch of people that are super silvers or they're golds and they decide to push for gold or senior gold, I mean, you could find yourself promoting to senior ruby or something like that, like that, and not even have any intentions on doing that. And now you're going to go backwards because all your team members decided to incentivize everyone and push at once, and you didn't even necessarily want it to happen. You're just like, oh, well, here we are. And now it becomes a mindset thing because you spent a couple of months out of rank, and those things aren't ideal. So we wanted to also tweak some little things there to figure out ways to keep people going and allow you to be able to control a little bit more of your how you're going to finish the month and things like that, and how you can promote. So, or at least if when you're all going to push, at least it's a good practice, right? You can't always control if someone's really just going to try to do everything they can to advance, but at least if that way that they're advancing is a little bit of a better practice, that it's good. So yeah, those were a lot of reasons. And then obviously the other key piece here is that we want them, that makes you fast start eligible, which almost kind of puts the responsibility on your sponsor to forces them to talk about the business, because, and here's, again, this was analytic based because, okay, so let me back up. If you just start today and you want to fast start, or you're eligible to fast start and you do it, you get 3 friends to join with a 199 pack in 14 days. They have spent a total of $600 on products, right? Because $200 a piece. Keep in mind the welcome pack's already discounted, so we're making less on that at corporate anyways, especially right now since they're discounted. But anyways, that doesn't matter. They're getting $600 worth of products. We will pay that sponsor back out $400 out of the 600, and that doesn't even take into account what we're giving the upline, because we're paying out 6 people points as well and 3 more BBBs. So we end up paying out around like $510 of the $600 that's being purchased on products. And actually, like right now, we're really only making money on the annual memberships because the welcome packs are discounted. But the reason for that is because all of our analytics showed us what happens when people can make $300 in their first 90 days, and especially in their first 30 days, which is why we heavily incentivize that. Because if everything tells us, if you buy a 199 kit and you go out and you successfully just fast start silver, you are going to continue. You will likely enroll on average another 10 people. Don't quote me on these numbers because it can change obviously over time, but whatever our analytics have shown is on average you'll go enroll another 8 to 12 people. You'll stay at 100 PV for an average of like 18 to 24 months. You will encourage other people under you to share as well. And of course, obviously, then it just trickles down. They're incentivized to do things. So those are all just big key factors here, and that's kind of why we made this shift. We are that confident that if we get that to happen, you're with us, and you'll make us money in the long run, and you'll continue to build. And we're also very confident in our culture, and we're also very confident in the fun that we can have at events and things like that. So we're also very confident that not only if we get you the money and a good experience on the products, that eventually you'll show up to an event or you'll do something like that, and the culture will also keep you too. So yeah. And obviously too, the other key thing here is it's been tough up until now for you to determine which bucket to put someone in as far as preferred customer and ambassador. Because if you're pushing the $99 welcome pack and they say, yeah, I'll try it for 90 days, you're supposed to believe that they're going to have a great experience. So you're supposed to give them the best price, right? So that's been tough. Well, now if you're pushing 199s first, if they say no to that, I'm not saying you shouldn't make them a wholesale ambassador, because they could make a great wholesale ambassador. But what I am saying is you got to ask some more questions to qualify them. Because if they can't afford the $199 up front, that might red flag that they can't afford $100 every single month. Not always true, but at least it would cause me to ask some more questions to make sure I'm putting them in the right bucket, because we can always upgrade them later, but we can't. Asking them to downgrade is a much harder conversation, and I recognize that no matter how much. Yeah. So, yeah. And then this new send, share, and invite system. I got to make sure I touch on this too, because this is key. And I think it's just important to just address this. So I don't know how long each of you have been in Plexus, but if you've been here for a couple of years, I think that this is really important that I say this. We recognize that there were some growing pains. We had some tough systems issues, and we didn't have necessarily all the systems in place to help support all of our ambassadors, our distributors. And the reason for that, and look, it is what it is. It's a good problem to have, but it's nevertheless a problem. We grew by 15,000% in a 2.5-year span. So we didn't just double, we didn't just triple, we didn't just quadruple or quintuple. I don't even know what's after quintuple, to be honest, but like we multiplied multiple times over. And if anyone, I mean, that would be like the equivalent of anyone. I mean, I'm just going to pick on you, Amanda. Amanda, if you promoted to just diamond in the next 2 months, that would be awesome for you, right? But I promise you, there would be people that you wouldn't be able to support on your team. There would be people that fall through the cracks. And that's fortunate, but that is exactly what happened with us. And we spent some time being reactive. That system we first bought, we had to purchase it and have it built the year before we launched it. Well, in that time, we had hyper growth. And by the time we launched it, we'd outgrown it. Because that was a challenge to have. But what do? You just not have a system? And so then we had to focus on building a new one, but this time invest even more to build it out so that it can, hold, in case we do have crazy hyper growth, which has happened. So it's a good thing we did that. But but most importantly, regardless of the systems, like IT systems, the most important thing was that there wasn't a duplication process in place. And that's got to be the most frustrating thing. Look, I've said this before. If you can go gold, you can go diamond. And I hope you all take me seriously when I say that, because this business is about 4 things. It really is. It's not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. It's can you enroll? Can you retain? Can you get them to duplicate? And can you develop them into leaders? Duplication is getting like silvers. To me, developing leaders is, can you get them to develop a silver and get them to develop a silver? Like a couple lines of duplication from one individual, right, that is now teaching it. But look, most people were great. If you go gold, you were great at recruiting. You were great at retaining people. The challenge was that duplication piece, because it was hard to get people to work. And I recognize that. It's not easy to get people to work, even if you can fire them, much less if you can't do anything like that. It's just based on their own personal efforts. It's hard to get people to work. People, it's tough. Some people just they are, especially if it's not forced upon them. If it's an optional side business or a side gig, we're busy. I get it. So you have to have things in place that help get people going, but also don't require you to have to reach down with level 3s and level 4s and all those other things too. A, for time, but B, just for efficiency and not stressing yourself out. I mean, no one wants to go diamond if it means working 100 hours a week. That's, you're not getting the time freedom. But so we didn't have one of those systems in place. And the teams that have grown extremely quickly, right? Look, Jessica Heffley and Tamara Holloway is one. Celeste and Jen Hawkins, Sheila Medina is another one, Brooke Hemingway and Emily Gibson, right? They all had systems. That's the common denominator. None of those systems looked the same, but they all had systems that helped support all kinds of different people and personality types and things like that. And that's really been the key challenge, is that everyone's been different. So like a blue personality, for example, they're a little bit more spontaneous. They're a little bit less likely to want to be confined to a single way of doing things. They want to be able to express their ideas and do things more. So they don't want to have a system forced upon them, which means if they were good at enrolling people and retaining them and things like that, and they love the products and sharing, they probably didn't want to put a system in place for their team because they didn't want a system forced on them, not realizing that most people are going to need to have a system to be able to succeed and to get it to duplicate and build the team. And also, if you've got like someone like myself, I'm a green personality. Hopefully you've seen, I like details. I'm very, but it can be very boring. If I create a system, it's going to feel like a second job. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be, I'll geek out on it, but most people, they're going to hate it. So you not only had to have a system, it had to be one that worked for everyone. And that wasn't easy. And that's where I really like the send, share, and invite system, because it's something that you can mold it to yourself, right? If you've got something that's working, great. But if not, cool. Send them a video, share some testimonies, invite them to a 7-day challenge group, invite them to the Slim Down Challenge, invite them to an opportunity call, invite them to do something, right? A sip and see, like that. That's the idea, but get their interest first. Then open up that conversation where you can share more about the products or share more about the opportunity, and invite them to something, or get them a sample or something like that in their hands. So that I think has been also super key here too, because I think it's important that if we put a fresh start or a fast start system in place that allows you to incentivize people to build quickly, right, and get them good experiences quickly so that they're willing to share. Because again, 7 days in, if you've lost weight and you're feeling great on the Weight Loss Essentials pack, you still have 7 days just to get 3 people to say yes and make a lot of money. So you can change your mind in 7 days. And so hopefully that's built into everyone's follow-up process too, is to, they've had a good experience in their first week, ask them to share again, right? But anyways, that's kind of the idea behind why all this was done. And I want to make sure we open it up for a few minutes for any questions if you guys got them, because I know that was a lot. And but yeah, that's just what we were intending to do. And we really think, and especially right now, I mean, we've seen a lot of people excited this month. You're going to see some nice advancements, some new diamonds, some new emeralds, things like that. So people are excited. And finally, I just got to say this too. Everything works together now. Like, Amber, you know what I'm talking about for sure. When like last year the contest started, what do you want to do? Earn a prize or grow your business? Kind of had to decide, right? Now it should all work together. Growing your business should also get you prizes, or getting prizes should also grow your business. And the formula or strategy to do that is the Fast Start or Fresh Start program, right? So it all just kind of ties in together. That's the goal. So any questions?
I appreciate you going through all of that and like the reasoning behind the way that the packs are placed together, because that's super helpful. Yeah, didn't realize that. I think our biggest issue as a team is the duplication piece. And you know that, we've gone over the numbers so many times, but helping our people to realize that like you have to share the opportunity with them, and it doesn't have to be pushy. It doesn't have to be like, I mean, I have a lady right now who just did her first post and already has 2 ambassadors that she added just from talking to people about how she felt. And, she hadn't even made a Facebook post. So it does not have to be pushy or salesy. So it's like, can we not get people to understand that?
Honestly, that's my favorite. Like, I love it when people tell me they're not a good salesperson. I'm like, great. Most people that are good salespeople suck in Plexus because they're too salesy. They're too about the numbers. They're not relational at all. They don't actually care about how you feel on the products. And so they actually don't do very good. And they come in with this blind confidence that they're going to just crush this because they're like, oh, I'm great at sales. And then they just don't care about anybody. And they wonder why everyone quit and didn't duplicate. I mean, I've seen it. There are people that have crushed it in sales, like in other jobs, that everyone, like, I've heard leaders that, like, I got this new guy or gal, and he or she was awesome. They were top sales and whatever, and then they get here and they're not good. And it's like, well, why? Like, it's because they didn't care about anyone. So that's number one. And number two, honestly, when it comes to being a salesperson, like when I hear that term, first off, challenge them on that, because the sales, when they say I'm not a good salesperson, you know what they're doing is they're actually lumping that term salesperson into a category that now everyone is the same, which isn't the case. But I understand what they're saying there. They're trying to say that person's got this charisma or whatever they want to call it, right? But there's a reason for that. It's because a lot of times in sales, you do have to overhype your product or your service or whatever it is and make it look prettier or fancier or better than it actually is. But you don't have to do that here. You've got a 60-day money-back guarantee to come prove me wrong. You've got thousands of testimonies out there that show that the products do what I say they do. And I've got plenty of peer-reviewed science to back up and support the ingredients to show that they're clean and good and healthy for you. I mean, and truthfully, like, honestly, like, I'll just be honest, like, I would quit my job right now if if I could go to a car dealership and they told me that I could give somebody the full money back on their car, the sticker price back on their car in 60 days. And if they had thousands of testimonies out there from everyone saying it's the best car in the world, like, and if there was all kinds of science out there that shows that it's the best built engine, it's the fastest, it's the most reliable, it's the best transmission, best everything. Like if they had that out there, I'd quit my job right now and go do that. And I think most people would, because it'd be pretty easy to sell cars if you could tell someone to drive it for 60 days, and if they don't like the experience, to get their money back. You'd have people walking in and out of there all day long getting cars. You'd also have a lot of losses on things because a lot of people returning cars and driving new ones. I'd be doing that all day. I'd go to I'd never actually buy a car, but yeah, I just buy different fast cars and drive them. But that's off topic. So anyways, but I mean, seriously, like I think anyone would be great at sales if they could go do that. I mean, ask them that. Be like, hey, don't you think ask most of our diamonds to go sell me on insurance or sell me a car or sell me a house or sell me something like that. They're probably not as good as you think. So honestly, I'd rebuttal that all day long. Sorry, I just ranted for a few minutes, but.
No, it's a good point. It is. Okay, Amanda or Lindsay, did you guys have any questions?
I have like a general one that has not a lot to do with the topics tonight. But in speaking about, like I have, I think 43 or 46 ambassadors under 100 PV this month. And a lot of them, they're just people that is just what they do. They got their X Factor, their ProBio, their BioCleanse, and they're happy. And which, is great. They get the good deal. Is there anything at any point in time that we would ever be able to do where we would be able to, for those of us that this is our career, like, get some, I don't know, like what to do there. For a lot of these people they are not going to budge. And
yeah,
so have been ambassadors, of course. I don't know half of them, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I recognize that. Honestly, that is a big challenge that a lot of people have. So I'll just provide a little bit of perspective here. It's tough, but this is, and I'm not saying that we aren't looking at ideas here. The only challenge is then you have to start to change the comp plan. And one of the things that we've got that I promise you lots of companies are jealous. And that's one reason why we get a lot of their executives to come over is our comp plan, because it truthfully, like, I've gotten to be in some cool meetings. Like, I'm not trying to sound cool or anything, but I'm just telling you, like, I've been in some cool meetings with some like cool executives and other like third-party vendors when they're running these analytics. And there are a lot of other companies that are trying to figure out how we've done what we did with our comp plan. Like, I'm just like, the hyper growth we experienced, we contribute to a lot of our products like Triplex, but also to our comp plan, because you got to be able to reward people to share. So, but here's the perspective. So if we do decide to make that change, so first off, so right now, one of the reasons with the 199 packs that we like too, and the reason we want to make this shift is if they do say no to the 199 pack, that's the first red flag, right? I would ask more questions to qualify them. So hopefully moving forward, people will be able to put them in the right bucket a little bit easier. Nevertheless, this is still going to happen, right? We know it. But the challenge is that, look, the company pays out 50% no matter what. That's our comp plan. So we could make it so that you guys get paid on all those people. The problem is if we do that, it takes away from the value of the pay point, and it does a lot of other things. And so right now, the way it's looked at is that, and I promise you lots of teams struggle with this. I mean, the average jewel or diamond has between 25 and 35% of all their people purchasing between 1 and 99 PV. Okay, that's just being real. I wouldn't go share that stat with people, but I probably shouldn't have just said this on a recorded Zoom, but whatever. That is what it is. But the teams that are really good at qualifying really benefit off of the other teams that aren't very good at qualifying, because it does increase the value of the pay point. If you have, so just perspective, if your team had 0 people between that and they were all either preferred customers or their 100 PV ambassadors, I don't think you would want that change, simply because anyone else that isn't doing a great job of qualifying is benefiting you because it's increasing the value of the pay point. And so it's just a tough decision for us to weigh. I mean, I'm not saying that we aren't considering it. It's just how do we want to do things? How do we want to have the payouts distributed? But the value of the pay point and the way we've been able to design the pools and things like that is a very, very appealing thing right now. And so it's tough. Obviously, like, they can downgrade to preferred customer. Which again, I know that's a hard conversation. It's easier said than done. I do like that we raised the membership a little bit to $40. Truthfully, I would love to see it go up a little bit more. I'm just being honest. I don't know that we'll do that anytime soon. I'd also like to see us do away with $99 welcome packs too, just being honest, because if you saw that might sound like a harsh thing, but and 6 months ago, I promise you, I was not a fan of the 199 packs because I was like, oh, geez, the field struggles with 99 packs. They're not going to be able to do 199. They showed me the analytics, and it was very easy. If you saw the numbers, if you saw how more likely people were to stay and share and do things like that, you'd never have someone sign up with a $99 pack again, unless, I mean, at least not over a 199, or you'd at least you're pushing that one way more. But yeah, that's just a little perspective I just want to share when it comes to that. I truthfully believe the folks that are between 1 and 99 PV, a lot of time, I don't think that they're not there because we don't have great products, because I do think we've got enough great products to have like 300, 400 PV. I think a lot of times they're there because they just they can't afford more products, or they found what's working for them and they just don't want to do anything else and are a little bit more closed off to it. It's a tough conversation to have too, but so this is a practice that I think is good to do just regularly after your commissions post. And I would encourage the whole team to do it, is call your wholesalers at the start of a new month. After commissions pay out, call them, say thank you. Hey, Amanda, I don't know if you know who I am. My name is Jake. I'm on the same team as you. I'm like 4 levels up in your upline. Not sure if you know how the whole Plexus gig works or not, but every time you spend $100 in volume or more, you actually bless 7 families with a paycheck. I'm one of those families, and I don't take that for granted. And so I just wanted to reach out and say thank you. And I'm a line of support if you ever need it. So hope you have a great day, but your order means a bunch to me. You do that over time. A, you're indirectly teaching them the comp plan. But B, I think you're teaching them that, hey, when you are going to order, you're going to help 7 families out. So maybe you don't order every month. Maybe you order every other month. I'm not saying that's a good practice either, but, because that's tough too. Maybe you're just very honest with them. You're just like, hey, like, I know this is not an easy conversation, but I got to be honest with you. When you first signed up, I signed you up as an ambassador. I was new to it. Hey, you know what? I've learned a lot since then. I've grown. I've gotten better. And truthfully, I am running a business here. I just have to be 100% honest with you. When you order under $100 in volume, I don't get paid, and neither does anybody in my upline. And I know that sounds a little bit selfish, but at the same time, you like these products and you're ordering them. Look, as a preferred customer, you will start to get a discount after your 3rd order. It's a really nice discount on your subscription. Is there any way you'd be looking, or talk to them about when their membership's up? I think that's always a good thing. Sort by the memberships. Hey, your membership's up in 2 months. You're going to get charged $40 for this. You're not taking full advantage of it right now. It's actually costing you money at the end of the year. Hey, I'd really encourage you to really think about this. If you're not going to do that 100 every month, you're not taking full value. You're not building the business. I'd encourage you to really think about just downgrade into a preferred customer. And of course you can always upgrade again if you do decide you want to do this as a business, but maybe just, I know that kind of seems like it's dancing around the issue, but I don't know. I know that that's a tough conversation. It really is, which is why I hope the best practice is moving forward. We just try to qualify people and train on that. So that was a long answer for you, Amanda, but I hope it helps.
No, that was great. Thank you. I love both approaches with the phone calls and talking to them, having the hard conversation. That's great.
And I also think right now too, another thing you can do with these combo packs right now, and hopefully we do this again moving forward. Give us a reason to, right? Please have them sell out so that we do this moving forward again with more trial packs. But right now, I think the trial pack, it sounds counterintuitive because you're like, well, they don't work the business, but the trial packs can get you exposed to a lot of different products quickly. But it's also, the idea is you can get them to get a customer or two or something like that. And look, I think it's an easier step to hand someone a trial pack than it is to ask them to go to your website and sign up. I know they've got the money back guarantee. I know that there's really no risk, but just the perception in the mind, I think that's a difficult step. It's a scarier thing to ask for people to do. But if you're willing to just hand them a trial pack and then they tell you they like it, I mean, that's a cool. Hey, like maybe you should join as a customer, and then that can help get the volume up. But either way, you can get them. And also too, don't forget that everyone has a 60-day money back guarantee for any product they haven't tried before, not just new people. So I would always be trying new products until you've tried them all. I talked to them about lean simply because, again, like I said earlier, lean is something that you can justify the cost for because, again, you can take it out of your grocery bill. So yeah.
I know last summer when you told me to do the calls, like you gave the suggestion of calling my people that did over 100 PV. That was like the most eye-opening exercise because people were like, they had no idea, first of all. And second of all, I got to hear some awesome testimonies, like firsthand, this is what's happened. This is how I feel, and I didn't even ask them. I just literally said what you just said. And then they would just like spill it. Like, yeah, this has been great. Plexus has helped me with blah, 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 blah. And I'm off this med or whatever. And it was just awesome.
You want to talk about a great thing to do right before you get going on your IPAs for a day? Go do that. Cause you want to know one thing that makes it really easy for me to jump on calls. Cause I'll be honest with you guys. I don't mind Zooms. I don't like Facebook Lives. I really don't. I don't like cameras. I truthfully don't. But it's easy for me to talk about the products. It's easy for me to talk about the opportunity because over 6 years, I've heard nothing but incredible testimonies, and I've seen nothing but families being able to completely alter their futures and completely change things because of the opportunity here, to the point where, in my opinion, it is a disservice if you don't tell people about it. It is. It's a disservice. I would never not tell someone about the business because you're doing a disservice to them, because these products work for people. You don't have to be a good salesman to sell them or to be able to share them. It's not only about you, it's what everyone else does. And you are one conversation away from having a completely different business at any time. You are one conversation away, or you are one team member having a conversation away from an entirely different business. I think right now, Lauren Collinsworth is a great example. She's been one of the top recruiters over the last 3 years. She recruits. Yeah, she's had a lot of people join and quit. Eventually, what happens when you recruit a lot of people? You find a Melody Hoppius who ran a boot camp who gets tons of people to join. And now she went Emerald in like 3 or 4 months. And Lauren was successful before that. Lauren was almost Emerald right before that. Would have gone Emerald probably without Melody, but now Melody will probably be the team that takes her to Diamond.
For sure.
Because she enrolled a lot of people and kept going. And again, I'm sure there were tough times for Lauren. I don't necessarily coach with Lauren a ton. I used to at one point, but I don't anymore. But she's in a different region now. But I know like there were different ups and downs, I'm sure, throughout her journey. But you're always one conversation away. And so before you get going on your IPAs each morning, go call a couple people. Ask them, just thank them for their order. Ask them what they love about the products. That's the very first thing I do on a coaching call with someone I've never talked to before. Tell me how you got started. Tell me what you love about these products. I want to know. And that builds my belief, and it's very easy for me to do these things. You want me to go live and do anything else? Like when they ask me to go live and talk about like a special, I'm like, oh, I'm not comfortable doing that. You asked me to go live and talk about this new system in place. Like I got no problem doing this. I'll do this in front of a couple thousand people. You ask me to just go live and do something else, I'm like nervous. I get sweaty hands and everything. So, I'm saying this to a bunch of people was recorded now, so cool. Yeah, don't go sharing this with everybody.
I will. Right. I'll just share it with my team.
Yeah, but anyways, I truthfully believe that we're in a really great spot. I mean, every company companies go through hyper growth all the time, and then they stabilize and they grow again and they stabilize. And that's really what we did. And Microsoft has done it. Amazon's done it. Apple's done it. And when you're stabilizing, you've got to put those things in place to grow again. It should give everyone confidence that we've done that. And we've made all of our decisions based on the data. And it doesn't really lie, especially when you examine it from thousands of angles. So.
Absolutely. Love it. I'm so glad you were able to jump on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
This may not be anywhere near your area, so forgive me if this my ignorance. Speaking of growth, has there been any talk about where the next expansion might be going in the world, or?
There is, but I would be in a lot of trouble. So we're doing Australia, right? Everybody knows that. Before, when we were just in the United States, we were in 3 other countries, where we were NFR. That was Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So you can read between the lines there. In addition to that, we just launched the Plexus US Hispanic market. So that hopefully is slide indicator where I won't get in trouble by saying anything. But then obviously, you know, we're really trying to, I mean, hopefully you guys saw with Joyum too, we're trying to adhere to European standards and things like that. I mean, truthfully, the goal is to really expand. I don't know exactly what the next plan is, but I can tell you that there are plans to move internationally and to move at a fair pace. Now, we don't, I mean, truthfully, like we could launch in a lot of countries right now, but there are companies that have done that before where they'll go launch like 6 markets at once and all markets fail because they couldn't put the time into them. And so it's important to, when you launch a market, that you're prepared to be able to help support that market. So you've got to put things in place first. So I love what we're doing with the U.S. Hispanic market and building a nice, just a nice base of Hispanic ambassadors. You know, we've got the Hispanic coach, we've got an entire team dedicated for our international expansion. So, yeah.
Lindsay's bilingual. She's bilingual Spanish, and yeah, good.
So hopefully,
so of course, if I get any say whatsoever, Jake, go ahead and just put a plug in there for Latin America. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that there'd be a lot of people internally that would say they agree with you too. So.
It's good stuff.
Thank you.
But I don't know timelines, but I can tell you that that's the most important thing. I mean, we could do it right now. It's just we got to make sure that when we do it, we do it right. Because if you do it and fail, then it looks like you didn't care. It looks like you didn't put effort into it. And actually, truthfully, it's not just what it looks like. That's just the truth, right? You didn't put the effort into it. You didn't. It's not the perception. That would just be the reality. So, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
My pen was on fire over here, so you did a good job.
Well, thank you. Cool. Well, you guys have an awesome rest of your week and rest of your month, and look forward to talking more with you guys soon. So
awesome. Thanks,
bye,
Jay.
everyone.
We'll see you guys. Bye.